And just like that, we are live. What is going on out there, everybody? JT here in the studio with you, Studio 10-4 Live, and we have a show of shows for you guys today. Can't believe we got all these guys wrangled together, especially this early in the year. Here we are. It's the first show of the new year. Welcome to 2024. I hope everybody had a great New Year's and enjoyed themselves, and you guys were all able to be someplace where you wanted to be with people who you wanted to be with, and able to hang out. So in the green room, I have Brian Davis competing, and Dustin Dickerson also competing, Adam Johnston, JC Alt, who's kind of the ringleader of this thing, and Troy Massey, all together today for you guys to talk about the big rig build-off that's coming up. And I got a little something here I can share with you here in just a second. We'll bring it on up and get a look at it. This is the ad you guys have all probably been seeing everywhere, all over social media. And, of course, the Big Rig Build-Off back with the PKY Paul K. Young Truck Beauty Championship this year in Mid-America. Well, Louisville, Kentucky at the Mid-America Truck Show. So excited to be able to be a part of this and bring this to you guys. Especially we get the opportunity to get all of the players in the same room at the same time and have them tell you what it is they're doing, what they're up to, thoughts and feelings about being invited to this thing. And of course, never any rumors or anybody spreading anything on social media. So we won't talk about that. Yeah, we will talk about that. We're going to talk about it all and, get the reality, the truth out there so that anytime anybody ever wants to say, hey, you know what, here's what's going on, they can say, go look at the 10-4 Studio Live that they did, and there's all the guys talking about the show. And that's kind of what I like to do, bring the truth out. So excited to have these guys come into studio. First, before we get going on that, I have something I want to bring up, and that's Trucking for Kids. And in order to help me do that, I have our main man, Dan the Man, Dan Lenz. How's it going, Dan? Nice shirt, by the way.
Hey, right? Yeah,
your
lighting and your mic look real good too.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's looking, trying to keep up with everybody. There's so much going on. Hey, I wanted to say hello to everybody too. Not ignoring anybody, but we got a full show today. So, usually we go on for a little bit, but man, everybody, y'all are in here. Y'all know who you are. Thank you for tuning in today. So what's going on, Dan? What do we have happening?
Well, as of yesterday, Trucking for Kids pre-register opened up. So you can jump on to truckingforkids.org, and there's a button there to get signed up, and there's information there for people who want to be vendors or sponsors or whatever. And there's also the link there to register your truck. So go do it. We've already had a lot of action on it just since yesterday. So we pretty much assume this is going to be a sold out show. So pre-registering is a pretty smart thing to do to make sure that you'll have space on the lot.
I have no doubt that this is going to be the biggest yet, the 43rd annual Trucking for Kids down in Irwindale. And we don't know how long Irwindale is going to go on either. So this could be it. Next year could be it. We don't know.
True. But thankfully, we have an alternate location now that we will probably be moving to when Irwindale is done. So we feel pretty good about that location in Bakersfield, and it's going to be an awesome venue, and it's twice the size of Irwindale. So when we do move, it's going to be awesome.
And we can kind of do whatever we want in Bakersfield.
A little bit more than we can in the outskirts of Los Angeles, that's for sure.
Yeah. Yep. Well, it seems to be the way of the drag strip across the country. More and more of them, racetrack venues, period, have been shut down. Sacramento is done. They are no longer open. And the same folks that own that own Reading, which we were at the NHRDA event this last year, I can say now in 2023. And I'm hoping that they'll be back there again. And they said that they were keeping that track open. It was just Sacramento residential, whatever. It's moved on. So everybody get that. Get yourselves over to 10-4 magazine or truckingforkids.org, of course, right down at the bottom of the screen, and get yourself pre-registered, like Dan said. Same thing, and I know JC is going to touch on this too. Get yourselves over and get registered if you want to compete at the PKY Truck Beauty Championship, because it's filling up fast too. All right, Dan. So Dan's got some special things that we're going to share here. I'm going to bring them up here so we can look at them together. This is not the first build off ever, and hopefully it's going to be a continuing event. I'm going to grab these pictures here and get us a look at them. There we go. All right. Let's see if I can get this to work the way I want. There it is. Okay, so Dan's sent me some real nice looking photos, and we're going to go through them for you before we get started here and kind of give a little history of the Big Rig build-off and some of the trucks that started it all.
Yeah, I took a little time this afternoon and went back through all the Big Rig build-offs, give a little bit of history here before we talk about what's going on, because there's a lot of history with this event. So the first one was held back in 2005 at Matt's, and it went until 2010. And, obviously the purpose was to highlight the talents and creativity of the premier builders of that day and kind of inspire others to think out of the box. And I think they also wanted to create a class that didn't compete with working trucks or even limited mileage trucks, just a pure show class. And so it kind of opened up this new thing, and it really was super popular for many years. So in 2005, the first year, there were 4 competitors featured. This that is on the screen is the Beast, which was the winner, which was built by Elizabeth Truck Center in New Jersey, ETC. And that truck at the time had just everything was custom built, and it really, really broke some rules. And and another popular truck that year was the second place truck, which was the entry by Brian Martin and everyone from Four State Trucks, which was the Mob Sled, which is that truck there. And, it had a lot of crazy things too. Like it looks like a fiberglass hood, but that's like a regular hood with every bolt, every rivet shaved off of it. Of course, everybody mostly knows that truck is now up on the Four State sign, which I believe I have a picture of too. And so there you go. So if you've seen it and didn't know what it was, that's it. So that was the second place for 2005.
You know what I love about all these trucks, Dan? There's nothing to hate.
Not yet, right?
Not yet.
So 2006, the second year, featured 3 competitors. This was the winner here, which is Adrian Rocamontes of ACW Specialties in San Antonio, Texas. This was his sledgehammer Peterbilt. And among other things, it had a 12V Detroit under the hood with 950 horsepower, had a chop top. This thing was pretty badass. And once again, broke a lot of rules and it's turned a lot of heads. This truck actually ended up on our October 2006 cover. And, but it set the standard for cool for a long time. It may be to this day, it still does. I don't know.
I think it's one of the coolest trucks ever built. I for years admired this truck.
Absolutely. And Adrian is one of the coolest cats you'll ever meet. Just a great guy. We did these pictures at Lindemood's place in Texas after the GAT show that year. Another standout that same year that Adrian beat was Phil Langevin from Canada. He brought trucks several years for the build-off, but this one was particularly one of my favorites. This is a totally stainless cab over. He also did a stainless 359 the next year, but I dug on this. So that thing was hard to shoot. It's like shooting a mirror. So you could see in the picture it was difficult, but very cool. 2007 featured 5 competitors as the build-off really gained steam. And this is the winner from S&J Truck Sales that year. A little bit different. You could see people are really thinking out the box. And another truck that year that didn't win, but obviously way out of the box, was Jeff Patello's convertible Peterbilt, which you see there. And
and Jeff is on the show today. So Jeff, there you are, buddy. back on the show, man, and looking large and
flip
cool.
to the next one. Come on, let's talk to the man. There he
There
is.
he is.
He's a little bit younger there, but
Is that Jeff Patello? Wait a minute.
and then that truck ended up on our June 2007 cover. So going on to the next slide there, that was the centerfold shot. The shot just about 1/8 of a mile out my window here, my neighbor's property.
Your broken window?
Actually, yeah, that's right here.
Inside joke. Dan had a visitor yesterday that took out one of his windows at the house. Anyway,
yes.
Watch out for
did not make it. So anyway, 2008 featured 4 competitors. This was the winner here. This was First Class Services, Randy Stroop, who may or may not be on tonight as well. I'm not sure.
And in Randy's behalf, welcome and thanks for being a part of this, Randy. If you're not there watching, we'll catch up with you. But Randy's sponsoring the Big Rig Build Off, and JC will tell you more about that as we go.
And Randy's a cool cat too. So this truck was a little more down to earth in some ways, where you could drive it, you could pull a load with it. I mean, I don't think anybody ever did, but it had, the paint on that thing was just phenomenal. So that was the 1986 359, which he won. And he got both Engineer's Choice and People's Choice. So he got both of them. They introduced a second trophy. I guess they had so much competition, they wanted to have more than one.
You know, the question has never been answered. Did the Corvette dash and the Peterbilt come first, or the Peterbilt and the Corvette dash come first? Peterbilt dash and the Corvette, however that would.
Okay. That truck did not end up on our cover, but this one, First Gear, which they built a few years later, that one ended up on our September 2012 cover, and that was a pretty unique rig too. That almost could have been in the build off. 2009, now we're dwindled down to just 2 competitors. Things were getting a little tough out there in the economy. This is the entry by the young brothers out of Colorado from Outlaw Customs. This was their Vigilante Peterbilt. It won People's Choice. And then there was an Industry's Choice that year, and that was S&J Truck Sales. They had an 81 359. You kind of see it behind there. The last year was 2010. And once again, those young boys from Outlaw Customs, there was only 2 competitors this year, and they were the winners. They won 2 years in a row. This was their copper and tan colored 350. I think it was 359.
Looks like it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it was, like I said, highly customized, had a lot of stuff going on. But, for me, the truck that year was the second place winner, which was also ended up on our cover and was also built by Jeff Patello. This one he built for PDI. This was everybody called the limo truck. And it had an amazing tan leather limo style interior and a 2,000 horsepower C16 Cat that PDI built under the hood. And that thing was just a monster and a beast. So it ended up on our July 2010 cover. These pictures are from that photo shoot. I mean, that thing was definitely cool.
You know what? I think that truck needs to come back and be our get around for Mid-America.
I wish it still existed to do that. That would be amazing, but it did not survive sitting outside in St. George, Utah. The snow was not kind to it.
That's too bad. That's too bad.
But anyway, so we kind of wound down there in 2010. I think the recession kind of took a hit on everybody, and spending hundreds of thousands of dollars to build a toy just wasn't sensible and practical. And so they put the thing on hold, and who knew it would come back? And here we are, 2024.
Yep.
14 years later, and it's making a comeback. So I think everybody's pretty excited to see what happens. And
life is cyclical, and here we are, where we're back, and I'm excited to have it back, and I'm also excited to bring in our next guest, and that is JC Alt. JC, how you doing, buddy?
Pretty good. How about you guys? Happy New Year to you.
Good, looking good, man. 5x5 there, buddy.
Thank you. Thank you.
Happy New Year to you too, JC.
Thank you, sir, Dan.
Yeah. So JC, like I said earlier, you're kind of the ringleader of this thing, and here we are again. Tell us first of all, just give us an idea what we're looking towards and for in this build off, and I we got the guys waiting to come in, but let's give it a little bit of a background real quick.
So, like Dan was saying, it lasted 4 or 5 years, and I'm not really sure what happened to it, but we're just going to move forward. I always thought it was a good idea. Those guys were thinking way out of the box, and they were, kind of kicking everybody's butt. So in essence, they're going to get out of the limited mileage class and kind of give the normal guy a little bit of a chance. And we kind of want to challenge them guys to go to the next level and to be, more competitive, and kind of give them some spotlight of their creativeness and the uniqueness of the builds. So that's kind of what we had in mind. I always thought it was a great idea. And like I said, it kind of dwindled off, and, we're already gaining steam for 2025. Guys are showing interest, and I think it's a good thing to bring back. And we've got a lot of positive things. We brought on a major sponsor for the build off. He's excited. Obviously, he was a previous builder, a previous winner. Randy was the only guy to ever win the build off show and the engineer's choice, or however it was worded exactly. But he was the only guy to ever do that. And he has expressed interest in, sponsoring, backing us, giving us good ideas. And so we're getting a lot of support from him and other outsiders. And I really think it's going to be a great thing.
So the opportunity for these guys to be in this was by invitation. And I think it's fair to say that that everybody that's here are the ones that were available, could, and I think everybody wanted to be there, but being things what they are, work, so on, obligations we all have. This is our first core group that's come in for the first comeback in 2024. And at this point, it's 4 teams. So give us some of the rules of the road.
So we kind of set out, we didn't want to have like 15 guys the first year. We wanted it to be elite, a little bit extra special than just, hey, I've got the money, I'm going to throw it at it. I invited a couple other guys that I was really hoping to kind of get in the ring and really mix it up, and it had been good fun. And unfortunately, one guy got hurt and had to back out. Another guy just wasn't quite ready. So I was challenged to make sure that I didn't have 10 this year and 2 next year. We're already expressing interest in 25. And so we kind of wanted to make it an elite deal. And these guys are going to the next level, and they're just always on top, and their creativeness is very good. And we kind of just sat down amongst ourselves, and they were some of the names that just kept repeatedly showing up. And so that's kind of how we started this whole process.
So is there any limitations or any kind of a, is there a bunch of boxes that have to be checked for the competition this year? Dollars spent on truck, years of trucks entered, any of that kind of stuff. What do we got?
So basically what we did was we put up, the builder puts up a $5,000 entry fee, and that goes into the pot. The house, the show, me, take absolutely nothing. So the winner will walk away with $20,000, and the trophy will be considerably nicer than our best of shows. And if you've ever seen those trophies, you know that they're very nice already. And so the build-off trophy will be that much again nicer. And so
how about the trucks themselves? Is there any limitations on anything? Do we have any parameters on the trucks?
The only thing that we kind of set out to start was the truck can't have been there before. It has to be a new build, and it has to start off as a Class 8 truck, whatever it shows up as, it had to be a Class 8 truck to begin.
Jeff Patello.
Yeah. So
I have to say, in that statement, you kind of reference Jeff Patello, who brings the first convertible Class 8 you ever seen, hot rod, right?
exactly. So however it gets there, or whatever the state it is in when it gets there, it has to have started off as a Class 8 truck. We don't
Okay.
want bringing a pickup or a motorhome or anything like that. You know,
Right.
like did with the limo and the convertible. Obviously, it was a Class 8 truck to begin with.
Okay. And now let's bring it full circle so we can bring the guys in here. You're moving the PKY lot, let's say, where we used to be. We're now going to be in a new location in the very front as everybody comes in. So where are these guys going to be out of there? Where's their designated spot?
So they'll be front, stage, and center of the front lot. They'll have great exposure all around. There'll be plenty of room for the crowds to gather in a mire. Picture takers, magazines. They'll have plenty of space above and beyond like the normal show trucks. And with moving it out front, I think the optics already scream a way better scenario than they were in the back, amongst other things.
Awesome. I think there was a great choice for you guys to move the location of the trucks. We've been out where we've been at forever. I think it's a great opportunity to put those trucks in the front of everybody and everything. And JC, you and I spoke about this a little earlier. It was time. It was time to put them out there and give them that exposure and make them so everybody. And listen, it's going to sound funny, but not everybody knew where those trucks were at. So
exactly. I mean, if you and I, we know that how to get through the building, but if you try to tell somebody all the corners that you have to turn, it becomes a nightmare.
Yeah.
And I think it was time to spice it up a little bit. And the optics is just. I had a meeting down there right after Thanksgiving, and you just can't believe the better optics. And I think everybody wins. The sponsor wins. The attendees win because they can find the spots. The showers themselves win because more people get to see their trucks, and the show itself wins because more people are seeing the show. Sponsors get more exposure. It's a win-win for all four of us.
Yeah, Dan's got a question. Go ahead, Dan.
I have a question. So real quick, and maybe you're not the guy to ask, JC, but how is that still considered the front of the show? People are parking in the back. Are they still going to walk in the front door, or are they walking in that back door now?
Well, you can still get in the front door. Obviously, you can still get in the front gate. I think a lot of people that aren't familiar with that back gate use the front gate anyway. And so, yes, it is considered the front of the show, where the majority of the people do go in. You will still be able to get in the back door, but the show will be up front and center and seen coming through the main gate instead of a lot of people coming through the main gate and never making it back to our lot.
Well, there is the official front door, and then there's the unofficial front door, which is where we happen to be at 10-4 Magazine, and that's over in the north wing and that corner that we always have every year. So come by and see us. All of us will be out there hanging around.
And walk in the back, you'll walk right into us. I ain't mad at you.
There you go. Hey, Trevor Caulfield has a question, and JC, I'll let you field this question. I know the answer to it, but he said that we mentioned that is going to kind of take the place of limited mileage. No, it's not, right? It's in its own thing.
No, it's its own thing. It's kind of above and beyond the limited mileage. These guys are doing crazy things, and in a way, we're kind of helping the regular limited mileage guys out. Getting these big hitters out that you just hang your head when they come pulling in because you can't hardly get around them. So no, we are still having the limited mileage. These guys are just the elite builders and an elite class, and guys are saying, well, it's all the money. Well, maybe so, but in a way, we're trying to do the rest of the class a favor, and we're doing these guys a solid by putting them in an extreme class, because that's what they are. All those guys that are in this are extreme builders. They're over the top. They know what it takes to be on top. So we just thought we needed to highlight their talents and, give them a solid and give them their own class, take it to the next level.
Yeah, I think that this creating the show within a show, group within the group, however you guys want to frame it. First of all, my favorite saying, it ain't cool to be cheap and it ain't cheap to be cool. So you're going to spend money, whether you're these guys or anybody else, to build a truck, period. I mean, let's face it. If you buy a new truck today, it's $200,000. And that's just to get rolling down the road. Maybe you get it for that. It's going to be a lot more, but bottom line is, it takes money. It does, period. Somebody had to start somewhere with whatever that truck is. So, I don't think there's any reason for anybody out there to pick anybody apart. Let this thing start off where it's at and go from there and go along for the ride, man. I think it's going to be a good time.
We've got a lot of big things coming. Randy and First Class Services has just completely stepped up to the plate with some ideas and sponsorship and support. And, their name does say it all. They are first class guys, and they want new guys to be coming up and doing that crazy stuff. And, some of the experienced builders, showcasing what they can do. So we've got a lot of good ideas. This first year, it's definitely the pilot year to restart it. But I think in the years to come, we're going to gain a lot of interest in the build off part of it.
All right. Well, JC, listen, we're going to keep you here, and Dan, and I'm going to bring the guys in. After we kind of wrap things up, I want to talk to you about a few more of the Mid-America Truck Show scenarios that we have going on. We'll let the guys go because actually a couple of them are on the road. So let's go ahead and start this off. First thing I want to do is I'm going to take off the frame so I can get everybody in. First off, I want to say hi to Adam.
Hey guys, how's it going?
We got Dustin.
Hello.
Brian Davis.
How you doing?
And Troy Massey.
Hey guys.
We got everybody stacked and racked. Look at that, man. Troy down there on the bottom of my screen anyway. So thanks for taking the time out, guys, to be here and be a part of this and welcome in. While it's a bring back of a continuing event, the first year of it being back. So congratulations for being the teams that are in and going to make it happen. So I want to just kind of get a feel from everybody what they think and feel about it. And if you guys want to share what you're bringing at all in any way, shape, or form, you can certainly do that. Brian, why don't you go ahead and start us off?
Well, what we're going to bring this year is this truck here behind us. We're already done and just kind of waiting on the show to get started.
Whoa, wait a minute. What?
What?
Who brought this guy in? What do you mean you're done?
I didn't expect that.
You're not supposed to be done until the day before the show, man. Who knew?
Well, we'll probably be done at the show, John. To be honest with you, we didn't start our here till I'm sure like the rest of the guys, but I think it was around the 15th of December before we turned the first screw. So it's going to be a challenge to get it done. That's for sure.
All right. Yeah. I think you got everybody a little bit worried there for a minute, man. I'm telling you.
I wish that were true, but I don't think it is.
Oh, Dustin, you're right there in the middle. Tell us what's going on. You're out there on the road today. So how are you?
Yeah, we are. My wife and I and my little daughter, Hazel, we flew to Phoenix, Arizona. We're out here for a farm seminar. We have a marketing service that we subscribe to, and every year they get everybody together. You have the option to get together and listen to all the people that contribute information and things to the stuff that we weather and different things like that. So come out here and listen to all those guys speak and stuff. It's a good little time to get away and saw that, and actually had a chance to go over to Rod Pickett's shop today. I've never met him before, and went over to his place, and lo and behold, my blue truck was sitting there. So I was able to actually check that thing out again. So that was quite a blast from the past. And
Yeah.
Cover truck? The cover truck?
yeah.
Really? They got it, huh?
Yeah, it's there right now. They're working on it. Doing just a couple things. A guy that owns it now is having him repaint the frame. Overall, it looks pretty dang good. It's only got 500,000 on it, so it hasn't been used much, but it's been pulling show horses ever since I sold it. So it's had I suppose, as good of a life as it could ever have.
It's having a good life. Chad Berry's up, and Chad's slinging mud already over there on the Davis contention, and he's you seeing that?
He's good with
Thanks for stirring it up, Chad. Not even part of the builders teams, and you're stirring it up. That's what I like to see. All right, Adam, what's going on over there with you, my friend?
Oh, not much. We just got back from the Volvo dealership, picked up our truck for the show, so we got it all specced out, just primo.
Yeah. All turbine Suburban.
Oh, man. All right. Hey, you know what? There's no brands that are alienated from this, so whatever anybody wants to bring, there you go, man.
All I got to say is it's the first twin stick automatic.
I can't even imagine how that's going to work, but hey, what the heck? So, Troy, what's happening in Nacogdoches, Texas? Is that where we're at today?
Nacogdoches, Texas. Yeah.
There we go.
So Adam and I were FaceTiming each other today because he was at the Volvo dealership and I was at the Mack dealership. And
well, I don't have boots on right now, so I don't know what's going on here. But
I'm so glad to hear that I'm not the only one that's done with my truck, Brian. I thought I was the only one done because Mack that I just went and bought one of those Mack Anthems, and I'm just going to show up with it and just I'm done.
Hey, you know what? If you find a Mack Superliner about 1980 or so, bring that along, okay? And honestly, that no kidding. That would be impressive. But new Mack, new Volvo. Hey, what the heck, right?
Yeah. No, I'm actually very relieved to hear that you guys just turned the first bolt yourselves because we did too, and it wouldn't be Matt's if we weren't the day before we were leaving to go start cleaning if we weren't still bolting the truck together.
So I want to give Troy a chance here to get rid of the accusations and disparaging of what Troy is or isn't. And Troy, you are now officially a builder, and that's part of this whole deal. You have to build your truck. 10-4. I'm just saying, I want it out there. So no matter what anybody says, they can come back to this and they can hear it straight from you. Yeah. Troy's building his truck.
Every single bolt, I'm going to do all the metal work. I'm going to do the body work. I'm going to do all the wiring. I'm going to paint every single stitch of paint. I'm going to sew the interior with my own fingers.
Wait a minute. Is there any metal on a Mack? I'm not sure.
We're going to put some, but,
okay.
but
stick it on.
Take the leather from my own cows and tan the leather myself.
Okay. Farming, you get extra points for farming, JC. You be a rancher.
Yeah, I think so.
I think so. Okay,
Hey,
we got to add that. We got to add that to the judges sheet.
Well, I seen one guy commented that we only do bolt-on parts. So every time we get ready to do something to our truck, I ask the guys, is that bolt-on? Because if it ain't bolt-on, I don't want to use it.
You can't do it. You can't.
No, if it ain't bolt-on, we don't do it here at Davis Brothers. We only do bolt-on.
Catalog, Brian, and you just buy some parts and you just bolt it on and take it to the show. It's really just
I opened the catalog, bought every piece of stick-on chrome there is, so it should be easy to judge.
There you go.
You guys are way better off than I am. I'm just going to put tires on mine. I just got to mount my own tires. That's all I'm doing to my truck.
Don't even clock. Good.
Just mount my own tires.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Just that's all you got to do is mount your own tires. Use customs. That's what I heard. Truck builders. You just got to know how to mount tires.
I think it's
Yeah.
I think it's all going to be about glue on or paste on fiberglass accessories. Forget about the stainless and shiny. We'll just go dull and fibrous. Here's what I like about all this is you guys are the right group for this. You got the right attitude. You also got a great sense of humor, and that's key to this and making this fun, because that's what it should be. I mean, listen, you guys are in for the competition side of it, but I mean, it's not about the money, right? We're talking bragging rights, isn't it? Isn't it a little bit of hey, I am.
Well, I don't know, John. At some point, it does become a little about the money, man. I don't know about everybody else. But
It does.
Tell me about it, man. It's got to be a couple bucks going down here.
It
When
does
you
cost-
sell the truck, you got to include the trophy with it. You get more money. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
How nice is that? How nice is that trophy, JC?
Well, you know how nice our best of show trophies are. It's probably 10% again nicer than that.
That's gonna be
Wow.
Carl from Rockwood is already designing it. And so you know how nice the best of show trophies are. This will be above and beyond that much again.
Yeah,
Framed $1 million bill.
Probably.
yeah, and I just a little bit of housekeeping here. So if you're watching today from one of the groups on Facebook, and you didn't give us permission to know who you are, love to know who you are, and I'm going to call one out here. And all we see, if you didn't give permission, is a silhouette of you, and it says Facebook user. So I don't know who you are, but somebody made a comment. Trailer Queens, yeah, guys, these are trailer queens, if you want to call them that. These
Yep.
are 0 mileage competition build off trucks. These aren't going to go into service after the show. They're not going to pull a load. They're not pulling a load to the show. Let's just get that out there. We all know that. So, and if you were kidding around, yeah, well, no doubt. But hey, that's what these are. These are show trucks. Period.
Well, I would add to that, John. I know.
Sure.
I know myself. I've never built a truck that wouldn't haul 80 or 100,000 pounds anytime you wanted it to. And I don't remember Dustin ever building one. I don't remember anybody in this group ever building a truck that wouldn't hook to a loaded trailer and take off.
Right.
Yeah.
And I can tell you, the only hint I'm going to give you on my truck is I guarantee you can load it.
Yeah, 10-4. And that goes without saying too. I mean, whatever anybody does with any truck they build after it's built, that's up to them. And you guys make a living off building working class show trucks, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, listen, anybody that's in this part of what's going on in this show, elite status, I think is fair to say. You're building a product that's sought after, not only by yourselves, and let's get that out there too. Builders, we build stuff because we dig what we do and we want to share it with everybody. At the same time, now you're in competition with one another. Is it good for business? Heck yeah, it's good for business. Does it move things along in your world? Yeah, heck yeah, it does. Not everybody can step into it. Listen, there's a big, part of your time and energy that goes into doing what you guys are doing. I mean, Adam, Dustin, you guys, Adam, are you shutting down, or are you just, how are you going to come around to doing this? Because out of all y'all doing this now, is everybody in trucking still and running loads? I know, Troy, you are in your company, and Adam, Dustin, you're just building now, right?
Yeah, we've got one truck that we mainly use on the farm, but we haul some ag products just to kind of keep the driver busy and stuff like that, and then haul my corn and beans when it's ready to go to town for the different.
Brian, how about
contracts
you
that I've
guys? Are
got
you
to
doing
fill.
anything?
Yeah, we run about 50 trucks.
Yep, there you go. So and Troy, I don't know, what, you got a couple hundred or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We still have to work. We have a little bitty shop, and we really don't even work for the public. The stories like what we've seen here recently, about truck builders, and people have no earthly idea what it costs to build a truck and the time that goes into it. And because of those things, I mean, I'm just so amazed that we were even invited to this shindig by JC, and so appreciative of it because I feel like, you know, we're a bunch of kids at the big boy table, and we're the ones that shouldn't be here, you know, because we don't really do this for a living. We're a truck company and we have our own custom shop, but I mean, we pay people to do it all. We don't do any of it. But no,
Rumor has it.
yeah, but you know, like Kevin and I were exchanging, Kevin Johnson there with Brian, we're exchanging on Facebook the other day, and then Adam jumped in. I know for me, for the rest of these guys here, like, we're just here for fun, and of course the bragging rights are nice, but just to be able to go to a show and you know, hang out with our buddies and look at their trucks and they look at ours, and be a part bigger than just who won is, man, it's so much more important.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
and I just want to take a minute and say thanks again for JC and bringing this back, and everybody that's jumping in here and on board with us. We're talking about the Mid-America Truck Show to be held again this year in Louisville, Kentucky, as always, and the Paul K. Young Truck Beauty Championship and the Monster, the Big Rig Build-Off, I guess, is the proper way to say it. And those of you the first time tuning in on Studio 10-4 Live, we do this every Wednesday, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Love to have you aboard next week and all the weeks after that. We do live streams from the shows. And again, we'll be live streaming from Louisville and bringing all that action that's going on, and the new format, the new layout, the new positions for the trucks, and everything that's going on from Louisville. So we hope to have you along for that too. As far as, you know, you guys getting everything rounded up, trucks done and everything like that, I mean, is everything coming out of your shops? You guys have your favorite people you're using for different stuff. I don't know who does what within each shop. You know, Brian, do you guys take care of all your own interiors and things like that, or do you have some subs, kind of, so to speak, that you use along the way?
Yeah, we have a sub that does our upholstery that kind of wanted to work out of our shop at one point, and I just don't know that is fitting for us. But outside of upholstery, yeah, pretty much all fab work, paint, the entire build. Yeah, we do our whole builds.
Okay.
And, you know, I'm not discrediting that. I mean, we would use outside sources if they were better than what we could provide ourselves, I suppose. But,
Sure.
you know, we of course, a lot of people know, you know, we build trucks for folks. And honestly, we had quit showing for competition for the last several years. You know, we're doing a display spot at the shows. Honestly, because of the conflict of interest in building trucks for folks and then go show against them. So we kind of jumped out and got approached with this deal, and seemed like it would be, you know, a fun thing to do.
I think so. And I think we're all glad to have you be a part of it. I'm loving what I'm hearing over in Dustin and Molly's car. We got the latest Dickerson build going on there in the background, in case y'all haven't heard. There she is.
There she is.
That's
Hello.
Yeah.
Oh, gotta love it. So, Dustin, what about you guys? Are you guys doing everything end to end, top to bottom, or you got yourself some people you bring in?
We're the same way as Brian and Kevin. We have a guy that does our upholstery for us, but other than that, we do it all in house. We've got, you know, laser cutters and press brakes and things like that. We're able to make all of our own parts kind of on the fly, and you know, it's really helped us out a lot, especially through COVID, when you couldn't get anything, you couldn't get a project done to save your life because you couldn't get the parts and the pieces to get it done. And you know, we were able to really do well for ourselves with that. And you know, it's just a lot of fun to finally, you know, when we first started, like when I built the blue truck, I was telling Rod and the guys that, you know, my fanciest piece of equipment at that point in time was a handheld plasma cutter, you know? So, I mean, it was no tools. I didn't even have an aluminum welder. You know what I mean? I had to build a lot of stuff out of steel, and and now we've progressed along, and it's just a lot of fun to be part of and see what we're capable of doing. And I kind of, our motto around the shop is, we're only limited by our creativity. Now we've got enough stuff that we can, do all of our own paint work, which we've done for years. But yeah, it's all done in house, and everything from engine mechanical to electrical to just whatever. But yeah, we design all the interiors and things like that, but we've got a guy that stitches it up for us.
And you, over the years too, had a collaboration with one of our best longtime friends of 10-4 and personally myself and Dan, and that's Mike Horan. And a little shout out to Mike, and hope you're doing well today, Mike.
Yeah.
Yep. Troy, of course, we've heard now you're out there, ranching and wrangling the beef and tanning the hides and sewing your own seats and leather. So you don't need an outside guy, but tell us anyway.
No, much like these guys, our partnership with our interior guy has become, increasingly close, and I mean, we're really at a point right now to where we're seriously debating about moving that inside our own shop instead of off site, and just doing all those things, through and so that relationship evolving. And I mean, despite the rumors, I don't sew leather. I hate to
let me see the calluses on those fingers from that needle and thimble and all that going on.
Yeah, I was wearing blood out of them, so I mean, I had to give it up. We've got trucks we have to run every day. I can't sew seats. So
yeah, no,
no. All jokes aside, we've really been fortunate to get some good people that just kind of, I don't know, called us and was interested in working at Stockville, even though we really didn't, at that point in time, we really didn't even have a business, and so Justin Kendrick is the main man down there, and shout out to Justin, because it's really, Stockville it's his business. I mean, I go down there and help and play around and get in the way sometimes and give him ideas, and once I give him ideas, his creativity just starts to stirring, and when creativity starts to stir, and the other three guys that are right above me in this show, what that means is that right. That's what he means, and so that's, we're just really fortunate. We don't have we probably don't have the as nice a tools. We're more as like Dustin Dickerson was several years ago. We do have an aluminum welder, but we don't have that nice water jet table that you've got. We still have to hand manipulate some things. We're gonna get there, but
well, I got a whole drawer of hammers too. Don't get me wrong.
Adam, what's going on in your world over there? You guys outsourcing, or you keeping things in house?
We pretty much do everything in house except for the interior. That's about the only thing that we outsource. We got a couple of guys we use.
The common thread here, yeah.
And
common thread, no pun intended.
Yeah, no right, exactly. But yeah, I mean, as far as everything, right from overhaul the engines, framework, paint, custom fabrication. Like I said, we don't have a laser table. We got plasmas. We literally make a lot of our stuff out of wood templates and kind of make our own plasma table when we're cutting stuff out. We just, like today, we were putting new panels on the side of the truck we're building, just because we couldn't get panels for that truck made. So there's just a lot of things that we have to still build inside. And like Dustin said, you got a good drawer of hammers, you can lose, you get anything done.
That's right.
So. Troy, did you catch that?
He's not excited. Not excited about.
Yeah. That plastic works really good on that Volvo when you get the hammer out.
Now,
That's a heat gun.
let's take just a time out here. Now, you just told us, Adam, that you just started the first bolt on this truck, but you're already building panels. Now, I think you might be fibbing to us on here.
Now, you do realize our first Louisville truck we built in 8.5 weeks. So, I mean, we're a month ahead compared to what we normally build.
Okay. Okay.
I mean, I'm actually kind of excited. The only thing is we're building something we haven't built before, so it's a little bit
Volvo.
outside the comfort zone. You know, we only got, what was it, 7 guys in the shop, including myself. So
JC,
You
is
know,
that
we're-
the first Volvo that'll be over at the PKY? Is that it?
I believe so. I would like to say one thing. I'm sitting in the guy's kitchen, and back in the day when we first started building, we had nothing like what these guys had. We would have to take breaks because we didn't have a shop to work in. We'd work outside and freeze our butts off, and have to come inside and warm up. And the show last week about Harley parts, you know, he had a Harley way before I did, and he's like, well, I know that I've got a piece that came off my Harley. And I always joked about my 359 having Camaro parts, Harley parts, and well, this came out of the feed mill. No one will ever see it, but this came out of the feed mill. So it's kind of neat how everybody's kind of evolved and moved to where we are today.
I can't agree more. And you know, I harp on this a lot when we're talking about what we're doing now versus what we used to do and how it was done. And in this particular arena here today with these 4 teams that are coming to the build off, you guys are building things and that are a lot of it's one-off stuff. I mean, I don't know how much you're going to have that's, you know, some factory made featured, you know, accessory, but I would venture to say not a lot, and probably mostly, if not all, 100% one-off type things. But that's all there was available back in the day. You know, there wasn't a chrome shop for much to go to and buy anything at, and lights and things like that. I mean, when Maxima came out, boy, did the world change. You know, all that LED-ness, right? I mean, what a revelation that was. Things have changed. They certainly have. But here with you guys, things are now staying the same. And I can't wait to see what y'all put together, especially on the Mac and the Volvo.
I hope you're doing it. That'll be amazing to see. Come on, you want to stand out? You got
Dan wants one of y'all to bring a Freightliner, and then his world's fulfilled at that point.
I want to say something. I can't believe that any of you, because I just thought about it and we don't have any, didn't bring any damn popcorn.
Right.
I'm sharing in some of the builders' stress and agony. The Tilton Hilton's going through some minor changes. The trailer will definitely have a new look for this year. We aren't up against the gun quite like the rest of these guys, but I decided I couldn't stand it any longer, so I'm going to be miserable like the rest of those guys.
And coming from the 10-4 standpoint, Studio 10-4 Live, of course, where we're at today, and but the 10-4 magazine, you know, world. I'm going to fire the shot. Here it goes. We got 3 cover trucker people here on the show with us today. That of course, one of them being the guy organizing this whole thing, but 2 others that have been on the cover of 10-4 magazine. So proud moment for us.
Pretty
Well,
good.
we had one of the trucks we built, I think, on the cover last year, right? Was that the one you're counting there too?
Yeah.
Okay.
10-4. Yeah, 10-4.
I've never built anything worthy of it. I'm working on it.
Me too, Brian.
I'm not trying to stir
Thanks,
the pot.
John.
Yeah,
Thanks, John. Appreciate that. Appreciate that.
that's my job, right?
One of these days, you're gonna get it with the Mac, Troy. It's your year.
We might do it
Build that Mac. We'll be talking.
This gold-plated Mac on the hood of that truck. It's gonna get it.
Well, okay. So if you're a real Mac guy, you can answer this question. What's the difference between the gold dog and a silver dog on the Mac hood? Anybody know? Anybody besides Dan? Anybody
Mac,
know
yeah,
that? Like,
Bull
Brian,
Dog
you got to
is
know this. You've
Bull
been
Mac
doing this.
drivetrain.
What's that?
Oh, the
Bull Mac
I do.
drivetrain.
Yep. Adam, yeah, right there you go. Bing winner. Yeah. So, and I don't know if that still reigns true nowadays. I don't know, but back in the day when Mac was completely all its own entity, it had nothing but Mac components. And look at PACCAR now. Maybe they need to get a gold dog and put it on the hood. I don't know.
Hey, you know why that Mac is smiling on the hood of that truck?
Yeah, why is that?
If you took a, you know what, you know that big, you'd be smiling too. Starts with an S.
Okay. Troy, you got it. You got any Volvo sarcasm? Come on, man.
I just saw his Volvo right behind Dustin's.
That's right.
You just
Steel
wait till we
wheels.
got our matching
He's
sandals.
got her out. Yeah, he's got it out delivering. We're at the Circle K. He's getting her out, getting ready to drop a load off.
Oh,
Hey,
was he
I
wearing his
That was
matching
paid.
sandals?
That was paid advertising. What are you talking about? We
I
paid
would-
him to
yeah,
drive by there.
All right. Listen,
Doing
let's,
a Volvo, then you don't need a press brake or a plasma cutter or anything. You just get a roll of plastic from Bed Bath and Beyond, and you can
That's
build
right.
what you want for your truck.
Bed Bath and Beyond. Thanks you.
It's a
More
3D
product
printer. That's all you need.
Yeah.
Now that's a reality. There you go. Let's go around the horn one more time. When and Brian, we can start with you. When you're rolling into Louisville, and what can we expect to see?
When's cut off, JC?
So
Oh man,
Wednesday at noon.
Wednesday at noon. Wednesday about 11:50, John.
all right.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. I mean, the dream would be that we get the truck done in the week, preceding that. But there's a long way to go. I guess we'll see.
Okay, Dustin, what about you? What are you thinking?
I'll throw myself on the sword. We've probably, as a company, our biggest struggle has always been getting that deadline done, and we're definitely not going to fail. But I'll second what Brian's saying. There's a lot of work to be done yet, and we're full steam ahead. But I wish we'd put a little more behind us in the rear view than what we have at this point. But like Troy had said, we got a business to run too, and I can't just lock the door and tell everybody that's been on the schedule wanting, I don't want to say normal stuff, but our bread and butter. You can't tell those guys to get lost. So, I don't know. We'll be there.
It's hard to sand in Phoenix.
I know it.
You're
Damn it, man.
You're on vacation.
Man,
he's honing his farming skills when this all falls apart.
Yeah, exactly. I got to make sure I got something to fall back on.
It definitely pays more than building show trucks. I'll agree with that.
Yeah.
I got a question too before I roll it over to Adam. Does anybody else besides Dustin have a full service shop here? I know from my own knowledge of Dustin that he does. Does anybody else have that going on?
Yes.
Or are we just all builders and truckers?
No, we have a full service shop.
Oh, there you go.
Yep.
Good deal. So, you know what? You guys definitely share that information after the show and get that out there for folks. And Adam, go ahead. Take it from here now.
Well, I've always shot to get there Sunday before, and it seems like I'm always there Tuesday after driving all night Monday. And I think last year I drove all night on Tuesday to be there Wednesday morning, I believe. So I'd like to be there the weekend before. That's what I tell myself, but we'll probably see everyone on Monday or Tuesday.
Yeah. Well, and of course, there's always the wild card, and that's the weather in Louisville too. So you might do everything right and prep everything the way you should and can, and the best of your ability. Then the weather shows up. So Troy, what about you? What do we got going on? When are we going to see it?
Well, my goal is Saturday. I'm going to beat Adam's goal by 1 day. That's my goal. We're
I feel
really
like his price is right.
we're really shooting to leave here Saturday morning, be there Saturday night. That way we can start cleaning Sunday. That's our goal. If we can match it or not, we have.
I
I'm
thought
sorry.
you were going to drive to Wisconsin and meet me, and then we were going to convoy down.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Oh yeah, we can do that.
You guys don't have to worry about any of that salt or stuff on the road either on the plastic trucks, right? So
No.
Yeah.
no harm will befall
They'll
them.
be on trailers anyway, probably in curtain vans, John. Come on.
Oh well, trailer princesses, as some have said. So yeah, well, you know what? I wouldn't drive my show truck like that. Not one of your guys is out there. I'd be on a trailer and covered and tucked in a bedtime story. I want to find out, and anybody who wants to can field this question. Louisville, Mid America. It's for all intensive purposes, if not the biggest, one of the biggest shows of every year. Probably one of the most anticipated. Certainly the Paul K. Young Truck Beauty Championship. I've always considered it a compulsory show because it brings out the absolute best of everybody in the show truck competition. But it's also there's some things about it that if you just don't know, you have to know to even compete in that show. And any one of you guys want to throw out some advice to guys that are thinking about competing, not just in the PKY itself, but if they ever get invited to this monster big rig build off. But any words of advice out there you guys want to throw out there?
Can I throw one thing?
Sure, Troy, go ahead.
All right. The most common misconception about mats. Everybody talks about limited mileage. But let me tell everybody in all the land, there is, in fact, and you three guys back me up on this. There is, in fact, a working class where normal working people that work their trucks every single day go to compete. You just don't see those on the internet quite as much.
Yeah.
The biggest
100%. Well, I think you could go to JC on this. I mean, my first time showing was only a couple of years ago, and my only regret is I didn't do it 10 years ago. I never thought my stuff was ever good enough. For you're your own worst critic, and all I could say is just do it earlier, because I some of the stuff I had came out with 10 years ago, I think I probably would have stood pretty tall. And then second of all, like when we showed up, I think JC's wife was probably getting sick of me in the trailer because I asked 1,000,001 questions. I said, I want to be in the top class. I want to compete against the best. I'd rather lose against the best than do one of the other classes. And there's nothing against one of the other classes, but JC, you could talk about it. I mean, there's custom, like vintage truck. There's all these different classes out there that, I mean, there's the awards. It's crazy how many they have.
There's for whatever your budget, if you're working or like you guys, the elite, there's several different classes. The only thing I can say is there was one guy there last year and he was just a farm boy. He showed up. He was there when we left. We showed up to the trailer the next morning and it's like he didn't even go home. And one of my buddies goes, "You're like the Energizer Bunny." He goes, "Like, what do you want?" And he goes, "Just pure adrenaline, baby." He said, I want to win. And you want to get a fresh set of eyes on that piece and circle back around. And anything less than perfect is just, everybody wants to win Louisville until it comes time to win. And it's a full-time job and it sucks. And the weather puts a whole nother dimension into it. Guys like yourselves are pushing things to the absolute extreme and making it difficult for new guys. But at the same time, that's what makes the show great. I mean, you look on that lot and there's several cool trucks, but the guy that was next to me at the trailer last year, I mean, he was there. Troy and his crew, they were there when we left and they were there when we showed up. And it's just like, man, how do you guys keep going? But that's what it takes. And it's, get a fresh set of eyes. And when you think you're done, circle back around and just make sure, don't let something silly choke you up and keep you from taking it out to the finish line.
Yeah.
Troy, I want to dovetail in on JC just for a second and say, if anybody from my standpoint is, man, you got to have good roadies. You got to have good group team, people there, and everybody to work with you to get this thing done and make it right, as JC said. Go ahead, Troy.
No, I was going to say, you know, I said something on social media the other day, and I don't want it to be misconstrued as disrespectful about trophies, but somebody was commenting something about going and spending lots of money and lots of time going to mats and not winning. And it doesn't matter if you're in the build off, and I'm speaking for me, but I think it should be this way for everyone. It doesn't matter if you're going to the build off, if you're in limited mileage, if you're in working class or whatever class you're going in. If you're going to get a trophy, just buy a trophy on Amazon, because you're there for the wrong reason. Like I have met so incredibly many, what I consider at this point, like the guys above me in this podcast right now. I mean, I've made lifelong friends just going to truck shows, because we're all doing it because we enjoy it. Man, if you're going because you think your truck is not going to win first place, I encourage everyone, you know, just like Adam said just now, go because you enjoy meeting people that do the same thing you do. And at the end of the day, if you show up and your truck is right, and you by some really rare chance win first place, because it's tough. I have not won first place yet. I mean, JC, right? I have not won first place yet. I'm going to win one day, and I'm not going to quit until I do. But if you do win first place, pat yourself on the back, but look at all the friends you made, like Kevin and Brian, and I mean, I met Kevin at one of my first shows ever, and we're lifelong friends now as a result of just going to a truck show.
Yeah, I can say that years ago, and I'm talking 20 years ago, when I competed and did what you guys are doing, never showed at Matt's, you know, being a West Coast guy, too long a ride for me with a transfer dump truck. But there's friends and people and relationships that I have to this day from those days, and Pickett Brothers are one of them, and you know, just to drop a name, but there's a few others out there, and I'll tell you, yeah, Dan Lynn's in 10-4 magazine. I'm here right now because Dan and Eric came up to me at a show in Stockton, at Bob Hitchcock's there, Cherokee Truck, and said, "Hey, we like your truck. Want to talk to you about your truck." And that was what got the bug in me right there. It got it all started.
I'm with Bob Vogel.
Pork chops.
Thanks, Bob.
I mean, my biggest thing on the show circuit is all the people, like you said, like Troy said, you meet, and it's even going like we've got a small trucking company, you know, and I've been in a tough spot, and hey, I know this guy from this show. He's got a shop. Call him up. Hey, I need help. You know, I got a guy broke down, and I've had it happen. People call me. We drop everything for each other. It doesn't matter if there's someone that we know from the show. It's like, it's the networking that you meet these guys. We're all like-minded people. We all enjoy anything cool. It doesn't matter if it's a truck, bike, car, you know, whatever it is. And like I said, that's my only regret, is just not starting sooner in life. I mean, I think, was it Rand Tool? I think, you know, Kevin and Brian, you guys judged my truck first time, and I had no idea what I was doing. You know, you guys gave me a lot of little pointers, and you know, maybe you don't remember it. You know, stuff like that sticks with me. First time you meet people like that and you experience it, and the ones that are, you know, lend a hand and kind of show you the ropes. JC, like I met you was at Joplin. You know, I didn't have a clue. You're like, hey, let's shoot the truck for the calendar. And I'm like, what calendar? You know, so it was really neat.
If you guys go for the trophy, I mean, obviously a guy wants to win, but I've always said, you know, I didn't always win, but the trophies I have are the people on this screen, and you never know where you're going to be at. And, you know, you can call all them guys that you've made friends with and go, hey, I'm in a spot. Who do you know? And, you know, people do it to me, and you just pass the favor on and, you know, pay it forward. And the trophies you're looking at them right here on the screen, you know, and everybody else that you've met at the show, I really feel like, you know, that's that's worth as much as any trophy.
Yeah, I agree. Well, guys, listen, we ran her long, and I don't mind at all doing that because we had plenty to say, and I don't want to shut her down, but I'm going to reel it back in and say thank you to every one of you guys for taking the time out to be here today, and certainly opening up the Big Rig Build-Off here on Studio 10-4 Live and letting 10-4 Magazine be a big part of this thing. And we can't wait to be there and cover it and share the show report after it's all done, and pictures and photos and video and live streams from Louisville. So appreciate y'all. Best of luck to everybody. And I think y'all did a great job. Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thanks,
guys.
guys.
We'll look
John,
forward-
cut
yeah.
me-
JC, I'm going to keep you on here for a minute, and I'm going to cut everybody else loose. Guys, Dustin, drive safe. Keep that little
Thanks.
project there in the back seat safe, okay?
Oh
All
yeah,
right.
we will.
All right.
Yep.
Look forward
Good
to
talking
seeing
to all you
everybody.
guys tonight.
Good to see y'all.
Yeah. See you
Yeah, I
guys.
got someone here that wants to say hi. Come here, bud. Say hi.
Hi.
Hey, someone with that
Hello.
Volvo we're building.
Now we know who's doing all
Okay,
the
wait a
work.
minute. Any more kids, spouses, or otherwise that want to get in? Right now's the time. Come on.
All right.
Well, I'll probably better.
Hey, I'll get Little Johnson over
Oh.
here.
Come on, get in there.
I could probably find a cat.
I had the door closed. They're sitting out there like my little fan club. Are you done yet? Are you done yet? All right. We'll see you guys.
I
You know
better
what?
give a shout out to Kendall. I'm sure she's
Thanks
all
a lot.
Oh, Kendall, hey honey, good to have Kendall on board with Studio 10-4 Live. She was our guest MC at GBATS this year. So Kendall,
Yeah.
look forward to seeing you in Louisville.
She'll
All right,
be
y'all.
there.
Good
Take
luck,
care,
everybody.
JC. Hang tight,
All right.
okay? All right.
See you guys soon.
See you
Yeah.
guys.
See you guys. See y'all.
All right. Dan and JC still here with us, everybody. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. Again, we do this every Wednesday at 5 o'clock Pacific time. Love to have you back for the show. Obviously, it's how we do things, and we get a chance and an opportunity to make this happen for you and share what's going on in our world. Just so happens that this is what's going on right now, getting ready for Louisville for Mid-America 2024. And JC, what are the dates on that?
It's like the 21st through the 24th, I believe, is what they are.
Yeah, I think so. I think you're right. 21st, 3rd, something like that.
Yep.
Anybody that needs to get information on it, it's truckingshow.com, right?
Yes, and I think you can even type in PKY or Matt's, and it kind of, even I have found it. There's a place on there that says register my truck. Going along with that, earlier this week, we were knocking on the door of 100 pre-registered. I'm going to say by now we are well over 100. We're shooting for about the 175. With that being said, and with how it's kind of been projected, another couple weeks and we're going to be full. So if you're thinking about getting registered, I would strongly urge you to make that happen.
What is max capacity for PKY this year?
So depending on, we're shooting for 175. Now that can alter it a little bit depending on combos, bobtails. Obviously you have more space for bobtails, but that's just a kind of a good safe number that we're trying to shoot for to, so that we can get all of the competitors in and get all of the trophies, plaques made and everything. I will say that obviously we were moving it up front. I think the optics are a lot better. One thing that we are doing for the build-off people, obviously they're going to get the 20,000 and they're going to get a nicer trophy, but I'm bringing in some previous winners, celebrity judges, if you will. And so we're going to have 7 or 8 guys that know what to look for. So it's not just a couple guys. You're going to get quite a bit of time to tell us about your build and to sell us on your truck. And these guys aren't just normal hay shakers. I mean, I think we've got good judges, but these guys, like the builders, kind of go above and beyond. I got Botello coming in, I got Adrian coming in, Rod Pickett, Brian Martin. I mean, that's just to name a few. I mean, and if you guys don't think they know what they're looking for, then, I think that it really solidifies the judging of it all.
I think you're right. And listen, no knocks on any of the judges in the past because they've done a good job. Certainly, an opportunity is here, and I'm glad you guys are taking it. You're bringing back something that really just opened up the whole class of what build your imagination. Big rig build off. I mean, some of the trucks that Dan shared with us earlier were completely just groundbreaking, never been seen, never been done before with trucks. And Jeff Patello in that group, and of course Brian Martin in that group, and the list goes on. And these are guys that are going to be judging now, coming up here at the show this year. I think you can't ask for a better build off and a group of guys to be judging out there. So congratulations again, JC, on making it happen and shaking it up.
Thank you. I'd just like to thank some of our new sponsors coming on. First Class has just went above and beyond. Brian at 4 States is up the game. You guys at 10-4, you always help us out. And, all of our sponsors have just stepped up, Evans, Mac Trailer, House, Lifetime, Roadworks, NAST, Iowa Customs on this year, Valley Chrome, OIDA, Rockwood. Without them, we couldn't do this. And, we've taken heed on some feedback. We are bringing back the book this year. I was on the ground floor of that, and, I kind of hated to see it go away, but logistically, we were dealing with 75 to 100 trucks when we did that. Now we're dealing with 175 trucks. So, it's not the easiest thing to do, but at the end of the day, I think that it's something that even if you don't win, you get your name and your picture in the book, and you've got something to show, hey, I was here, and to give to your sponsors, to give to your buddy that, missed his kid's ball game because he helped you work on your truck. So I'm pretty excited about that. We got a few other tricks up our sleeves, but, that's kind of the highlights, moving it up front. The book coming back. It won't be in real time. That's kind of the only kicker, but every competitor will get several copies mailed to them. So it'll be something that you can always have. And I've still got a set of them in my truck. Guys call and go, do you remember that truck? Well, hang on a minute. Let me get my book out. And so I really pushed to get the book back because I think it's something that even if you don't win, you've got your picture in the book, and it gives the sponsors another kickback because, their ads will be in the book. And so it's more exposure for them. And once again, I've said the piece of pie, everybody gets a piece of pie.
And for those that don't know what JC might be talking about here, the book that he's talking about used to be completely from conception to completion done at the show, during the show, and delivered to the competitors on Saturday. And I'm telling you, there, we had some people with part of 10-4, the diesel addict herself, Stephanie, in there working on that thing all night long, overnight, trying to help, make it happen, and many others throughout the years. But the bottom line was, what a great reference we had of the entire show. And I would use that throughout the year. My copy was on my desk, and anytime I needed to think of anybody's name, truck, and whatever it was I was looking for, there it was. And it was like a playbook or a I don't know, what you want to call it, Dan. You're probably better versed on that than me. Give it a name, but what a program. Thank you. That's what I was trying to look for. It was a great program. Yeah,
it's like a yearbook, so you can see who was there.
Or yearbook. Yeah.
If you didn't get a chance to take pictures because you were busy getting your truck ready, the girls always took good photos of the truck, and you get an interior shot and a motor shot and something cool about the truck that the girls saw. So I think it's a great element coming back to the show, and just another thing to let everybody know that my heart is in this, and I just want it to be the best, and I don't ever want to stop trying because I don't want it to go stale. And it's like bringing the build off back. I think it's time for it to come back. and move to the next level and challenge them guys. And Randy at First Class has been super awesome to work with. And we've got a lot of ideas coming up that's going to want everybody to be a part of this.
Good. Good deal. Well, listen, JC, I want you to hang around after I sign us off. I'm going to put you in the green room here in a minute, but thanks for bringing everybody together, and certainly for bringing the build off back. We look forward to seeing you in Louisville, all of us, and being there for the 2024 edition of the Mid America Truck Show and the PKY Paul K. Young Truck Beauty Championship.
Thank you for having me. And one quick thing about all those builders, each one of them has a unique quality that we liked. Maybe 2 or 3 qualities, but each person in that group of 4 has a unique quality that we really liked and wanted to be a part of this deal, kicking it off. And we hope to continue to do it for many years to come. And thank you guys for your support at 10-4. We appreciate everything that you do for us.
Absolutely. Dan, anything in closing?
Me, just I'm glad everybody could get on, and it was a great show. And thank you, Jason, for bringing this thing back, and glad that we could be a part of it. And we're just pedal to the metal, getting our match stuff ready too, because that's what you do this time of year, right? New Year's passes and better start doing that. The kicker is we have a show a month later, so we got to do them both at the same time. But we're gonna probably bring some cool West Coast heat to mats like we like to do, and so we're gonna have some special cover stuff, and rumor has it they're gonna come out to the show, so some different kind of stuff that you might not see in Louisville, Kentucky very often. So
great.
Yeah, 10-4, I can tell you, and as Dan said, 10-4 is bringing it this year, baby. 10-4 is bringing it, and the West Coast will be in Louisville. So thanks again, JC. Hang out for a minute, and we'll shut her down and have a little chat, okay?
Okay, thank you.
See you guys.
All right, Dan, thanks for being on here as always. And what's going on right now? We've got the new edition. It's out, so everybody should have their copies, subscriptions. Everybody needs to get their subscriptions, and in closing, everybody needs to do what? Pre-register.
Register. That's right. You want to get that bonus bucket. The first 200 are going to get that free bonus bucket. Last year we did 200 of them, and they have about a $200 retail value with all the stuff in them. It's good stuff. It ain't junk stuff. And so you're going to want that. So get registered. It ensures you a spot. It gets you in easier. The prices are cheaper, and it gets you a bucket. So get on it.
And those that were there last year, I hope you guys realize how smooth everything went. Should be a repeat again of once you pre-register and then show up to the show and get in and get set up, you're done.
Aaron. Thank you, Dolores.
Looking forward to, I want to say thanks to everybody that tuned in and is still with us here on the live stream. You guys are awesome. Thanks so much for always being there. And Jamie, the show's in Irwindale at the Irwindale Speedway again, as it has been for quite some time now. It's going to be there 1 more year at least. So we have no idea when that's going to change. Inevitably, it will. The property was bought. It's going to be developed, and they're letting them do what we're doing like we have been now until they say stop. So that's kind of how it is. So in the meantime, hey, Jacob, thank you. Everybody that's complimentary on the show. Appreciate all the support again. Like I said, we will be back again next week, 5 p.m. on Wednesday, bringing you another show with hopefully more good stuff, information, and some fun too. What a great show we had today. Thanks, everybody. Keep the shiny side up. Stay safe out there. We'll see you next week.
Good night, everybody. Thanks, John.